It's good. Thank you. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 5 o'clock for our November meeting, and we have a roll call. You're ready?
I'm ready. Commissioner Alexander,
Present.
Commissioner Meyer,
Present.
Commissioner Riordan,
Present.
Commissioner Oleta Reed,
Here.
Vice Chair LaBouffe, and Chair Costello.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. So, if there are any items that arose after the 72-hour posting deadline, this is the point in the meeting where a vote may be taken to add the item. So we've just mentioned that we need to add an item, but there is a meeting scheduled for December 3rd, and normally we don't have a meeting. So I'd like to add that item to F. Let's see. 6F. So we can discuss if you want to have a meeting in December or not. So we need to vote on that.
Okay. Chair, I'll make a motion to that effect.
Thank you. And a second? I'll second that. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great. Talk about that as it comes up. Any other items that you have?
Yes, if that may pass, meaning that we won't have a meeting in December, then I'd like to also add, it would be really brief, I'd like to add it as an item because there may be questions. Just a update on the Sound the Alarm project, which will be in Seaside in January, which we have already, a couple of years ago have taken.
We do have it on the agenda. We do indeed. But the one thing we don't have on the agenda, just in case, I'm going to bring it up as a commissioner's report. But if you think there's more discussion, then it should be added to the agenda. And that is the Christmas lights. If we don't have a meeting in December, I was just going to add it as a reminder. But if you want more discussion on it, then we would have to add an agenda item. So,
You mean Christmas decorations?
decorations and lights. I think we will just do it. I'll just remind commissioners, but if you think there's more discussion, we'd have to add it.
I think we should add it to have discussion.
Okay,
Just to lay down the parameters.
so that's going to be G. How about, we have to vote on that, but you'll need to make a motion.
I make a motion that we add this to the agenda as item 6G, discussion of Christmas lights.
And can I add to that if we decide to not have a December meeting?
Yep, if we decide to not have a December meeting.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. And it's time for any others? No. Public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the commission on matters within the jurisdiction of the city of Seaside, but not on this agenda, may do so during the public comment period for up to 3 minutes. Comments on specific agenda items are heard under that item. For the public record, please state your name.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the NIC Committee, Adolfo Gonzalez, your current staff liaison. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to your new staff liaison going forward. And Jessica Edwards, would you come up for it? So Jessica is our new chief building official, and she will be your new staff liaison. She started with us on October 28th, Friday, so a whole week, right? A little bit more, yeah. So a veteran with the city of Seaside. So would you like to say?
Hello, again, Jessica Edwards. I'm happy to be here and look forward to meeting with you and being a part of this. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you doing that.
And I just want to say thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working with you. I really, really learned a lot from you and have enjoyed these past 7 months, I think. I'll still be here, so I'll probably see you in the hallways. So hello, and I'll be back in December, right? Well, actually, not December, but January,
Maybe we'll be here.
maybe.
We'll see. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To the chair, real quick, if I may. But I just want to thank you for, your help, this past however long, maybe almost a year or whatever it's been. It's been, you've been, as well, your guidance as well. So we really appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome, Jessica.
Ditto.
Good evening, members of the Neighborhood Improvement Commission and staff liaisons. My name is Robert Daniels Jr. and I am a community organizer for Building Healthy Communities. I am respectfully here to bring to your attention a critical issue that affects our community and may fall under the purview of this commission. For the past 6 months, I've been working directly with the residents of the Seabreeze apartment complex located at 1881 Baker Street in Seaside. These residents have been dealing with severe infrastructure and habitability issues, particularly a widespread cockroach infestation that poses a significant health risk. To be transparent, we have taken multiple steps to address this issue. We initially notified the apartment management about the infestation as required by state law. Unfortunately, their response was inadequate and the infestation continued to escalate, impacting the health of both adults and children. We then escalated the issue by filing complaints with Seaside's code enforcement and requesting inspections. Following these inspections, it was confirmed that multiple units across the complex had infestations and the property was required to hire a licensed extermination company and implement a treatment plan. However, there are several critical shortcomings with the current approach. One, ineffective treatment plan. The proposed treatment focuses on individual units rather than addressing the building as a whole. Because roaches have been found in electrical outlets and within the infrastructure, this piecemeal approach has proven ineffective. Temp fumigation of the entire building is necessary for a lasting solution. Number two, burden on residents. The treatment plan poses a significant burden on residents. They are required to move heavy appliances, clear cabinets, and perform extensive cleanings all on a weekly basis. Failure to comply can result in a $750 fine and denial of treatment. This is especially problematic given that many residents have limited time and resources. Number three, health risks from chemicals. The treatment involves a use of harsh chemicals requiring residents to vacate their homes for 6 to 8 hours or 24 hours if children are present. This disruption to their daily lives is both inconvenient and unsafe. Given these issues, we respectfully request the following. Number one, advocacy for safe living conditions. We ask the commission to advocate on behalf of their residents to ensure that their health and safety are prioritized. Your involvement could be the crucial push needed to resolve these ongoing issues. Number two, supplemental resources. We request that the commission explore ways to support residents through supplemental resources. One potential solution could be providing a dumpster similar to those offered during community cleanup days to help residents remove clutter and prepare for treatment. Number three, review of city code and property status. We also urge the commission to review chapter 8.3 of the Seaside Municipal Code, which grants authority to declare a property a public nuisance. This could provide additional legal avenues to address the property's poor condition and ensure it is brought up to code. In conclusion, we believe that with the commission's support, we can ensure safer living conditions for the residents of the Seabreeze apartments. I'm available to answer any questions you may have and can also provide documentation for any points I've stated previously. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Can you pass these? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda Cunningham. I'm a member of the Homeless Committee, but I'm here speaking as a citizen of Seaside. And I wanted to let you know, I think the wraps on the utility boxes are really nice. I'm very grateful that you guys funded that. I think I just saw a new one while I was heading in to Lucky Costco. it's busy intersection, so it's hard to look when you're driving. Maybe next time I'm there as a passenger, I'll get a chance. I wasn't stuck in traffic. I was making, but that, I noticed that one. I'm like, yeah, we got another one. I do not know if you guys are at all related to the work being done, the street work on the highly dangerous corners that were at Ord Grove and Grandview, where the sidewalk had shrunk away from the curb. They were horrible tripping hazards. And those are being replaced on the worst street in Seaside, Grandview between Circle and Ord Grove, absolutely the worst in Seaside. Road to Baghdad for over 20 years. And they've replaced those and they've got the ADA compliant, they're beautiful. The turnout looks like it's massive work on the south side of Ord Grove there. If your group is somehow responsible for that, we have the same type of curb situation where the sidewalk has sunken away from the curb, and so it's a tripping hazard at the northwest corner of Waring and Ord Grove. I think all of those are a little funky monkey because they're all probably done at the same time. But maybe that's the next one on the list, is to get those four corners because they also don't have the curb, the dip. I wanted to say that the benches are lovely, and I'm hoping in the future they can be prettier, more inviting, and maybe we can even work on making these benches an attraction. If you go out and look, there's a lot of interesting things. Sometimes the sculpture looks like a hand. We have such a beautiful overlook, and hopefully over time we can make those prettier. I did want to say I'm grateful they put a railing up because it felt unsafe because they seem like there's a drop off. I have not walked by them. I've only driven by them. But I did want to say, I thought maybe if we had a curved pad instead of a rectangle, a wheelchair could pull up and sit next to the bench. And maybe it wouldn't be such a drastic drop off. I also thought the railings could be prettier. I'm sure there's a better term for it, but maybe and I also sometimes feel the ones that are there, a little kid could roll right off if they're playing on the, come off the bench and just roll right off. I don't know how far the drop off is. But again, I appreciate them. They're beautiful. I think they're a great start. And I honestly believe these could be an attraction to Seaside. Of course, it would cost more. I understand that. But I did want to, I think that covers all the things I wanted to thank you guys for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda.
I don't know if you want my picture.
Thank you.
And we have the same one
Is there other public comment? Thank you. Then I'm closing public comment. Did it? I did it. So, good job. I'll make copies and email them. And next on to approval of minutes. Have you all had a chance to read the minutes? I didn't find anything.
I found a minor. I found a minor mistake, Miss Jennifer. It says February 30th. In the part A.
Oh, you're right. Didn't even catch it.
February 27 or 28. January 2025 through February 30th. Where is it? On that page? No.
It's
Page
February.
2,
Page 2, the larger paragraph.
discussion on planning procedures.
Yes.
Sorry. About the fourth line down. Fifth, sixth.
So that's changed. What's the proper date?
27 or 28.
28, isn't it?
28. See, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Are you talking about January 20th?
February 30th.
Yeah, it is the 28th. Thank you.
Very minor, but.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Instead of 30th, it's the 28th.
Are there any other changes? Yeah.
What are you
Yes,
talking-
February 20th. Got it?
Yeah.
And any other changes to the minutes?
Yes,
Got
the
something.
chair. On the House of the Month criteria, after public comment, and then on the vote, in the results, it says five ayes, 1 no. And then counting the ayes, there's 6 there.
Oh,
And Mr. Reardon, it has him voting for both yes and no. So offsets.
great. Thanks for catching that.
Okay, take you out of the yes.
Okay.
Dennis?
Any other changes? And do we have a motion to approve the minutes
So moved.
and a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. All
Aye.
opposed?
Nay.
Something else?
No.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I just didn't.
Got it.
get
Thank
it
you.
there.
And we approved the other minutes. Sorry, I have to find my way again. Hang on. That's the wrong.
Oh, where are they?
Okay, on to business. And the first order of business, Dennis, I'm going to turn that over to you. That's the Red Cross Sound the Alarm Smoke installation on January 25th,
Right. Thank you.
2025.
Thank you, Chair. So this was, as you may recall, my fellow commissioners and for the public, this is an item that we adopted as a annual work, part of our work plan or one of our annual projects when it comes to Seaside. And this is installing smoke alarms in houses, in apartments in Seaside, that we work with the Central Coast chapter of the American Red Cross. It's called Sound the Alarm, and it's a nationwide effort on behalf of the Red Cross puts forth. And what we do basically is we canvass the area ahead of time. I mean, that's not necessarily something we do, but Red Cross volunteers do. Find out who needs smoke alarms, working smoke alarms in their residence, and then we go out as teams on that day. This comes to Seaside once a year, maybe once every 18 months. I think the last time we did it in Seaside was before last year. But it's going to be kicking off this next year, this next new Sound the Alarm push. We meet at the fire department around 8:30. The fire department provides breakfast. Then we go out in teams of 3, usually about 3 people, to do the smoke alarm installation and report back to the fire department for lunch. And we've been involved as a commission once before with other volunteers. I'm going to mention this also to the probably the early January meeting of the city council, invite them and other members of the public. But this is going to be a really big event. The Red Cross is looking at this as this is kicking off the 2025 Sound the Alarm events for the whole year. And we expect there to be quite a few people in Seaside who do need working smoke alarms. In fact, I just this past Friday, I put some alarms in a house I had none, pretty much in the central part of town. And that young man had said, "Hey, I know a lot of people, relatives and friends who don't have any working smoke alarms." So this is a big item for both the Red Cross, and I think for us and for the city. Sometimes it even saves lives. Yeah, I can mention one event in King City, or maybe Greenfield, a couple of years ago, where a family house did get on fire at nighttime. They were able to get out because the smoke alarm woke them up. So I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Well, last year the numbers were, I think, was 90 installed.
All right. It was quite a
Seaside.
bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Seaside's always a big push.
Big
We
deal.
do Salinas, we do all the towns in the Tri-County area, Santa Cruz, Monterey, San Benito, and Seaside is one of our really big pushes.
Tiffany, did you have a comment?
Yes, please. You said that was going to be the 25th of January at 8:30 in the morning?
It's the last Saturday in January. I don't know if that's 25th or 26th. I heard it was I thought it was a 26th. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's the last
Saturday's the 25th.
25th. Okay, then it's going to be the 25th. It's always the last Saturday of the month.
And you said at 8:30.
We usually meet at 8:30. So if anything changes, I will definitely keep you informed. But we usually meet at 8:30. and the fire department, who they're the best fire department in the world. They, they provide a nice breakfast for us and then lunch as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a great event. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
I got
Oh,
one
Ray, sorry.
question. I don't know, are we covered under the insurance of the city or of the house owner? If someone gets injured?
We looked into that last
Yeah,
time. We are
and what was the
covered
answer?
by both Red Cross and the
Yeah.
city. It's a city event and a Red Cross event.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem for us.
Right.
Thanks for reminding, because that's an important part of it. Next,
Madam Chair.
yes. Oh, public comment on the smoke alarms, sorry.
Hi, Linda Cunningham, Homeless Committee, but I'm here as a citizen of Seaside. I wondered how you identify these people, if they're like a list. And then I also wondered, are these people renters whose landlords are not meeting the legal requirement to have smoke detectors, and I believe carbon monoxide detectors are also required, and that maybe, I'm not saying don't install them. If they're renters, people need to be safe, but maybe the landlord needs a letter to be a landlord and follow the law. And that's just, I just know a lot of people are renters. I just think that the person who's getting that check every month should be paying for what they're required by law to provide, which is smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. And I think this is great. And I think you should invite everybody from every commission so we can get together and do things and get to know each other. I think this is a great opportunity. Thank you.
Nice idea. Just so you know, it is a Red Cross sponsored, so it's not our,
Yeah, I'm not worried about it being our money.
no, it's just that they do the process.
They have the list of who's gonna get them.
Yeah, Dennis is just a volunteer.
We-
I just wondered who
Yeah.
puts this list together.
Sure. May I?
Nice. Yeah.
I know
it's
it's a public comment, but may I just answer that just so we, the Red Cross, at the police department events, the Red Cross always has a table there and we get lists, people say, hey, I need a smoke alarm. So that's one way. And there's also canvassing going on. So we are provided with many times, and we're getting more efficient at that with, the Red Cross with lists of homes that have inquired.
So you're not just going door to door. saying, "Hey,
Sometimes it is that, but it's been more of, we do have lists.
That's great.
Thank you.
They're
Thanks.
Airbnb owners, they damn well better be putting those alarms in. They're making a lot of money.
Yeah. Great, thank you. And we also have as a recommendation here to inform the public, but that's done through Red Cross and through the city, so we don't have to worry about that. We can certainly tell our neighbors. I just want, that's on the list here.
Will it be on our, on the city's?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it goes up for sure. And 6B. Oh, I'm closing public comment. No, I never will. We just know that. But luckily I have help. So we need to select a date for the January 25th annual NIC work plan retreat, and also to develop a plan for the retreat, and then that, we're going to start, and then that slips into C, which is the first part of it, which is to establish a process for contacting commission liaisons and to submit ideas. So that will be the first step. So all we need to do now is decide on the steps. We already laid them out. And Tiffany is going to be the lead here because you were the big push to get this done early. So I'm looking to you for ideas.
Okay.
So selecting a date
Okay.
is our first part. for
So-
retreat.
Okay, so we want to do this in addition to our regular meeting, correct?
I think we'll need to, because what we discussed was our regular meeting. We will hopefully have the proposals ready for our regular January meeting, but it will be probably too many. If we have a retreat date, then we can finish with those proposals and decide, have a discussion on what we like and what we don't like. think that's what we discussed before.
Yeah.
So having a retreat after our January meeting will give us that extra space and time. If I understood what everyone was looking for that retreat.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm
Does
sorry.
that make sense?
Yeah, could you say that again?
So January meeting and a retreat. And by the end of that process, we should have all the proposals from the commissions.
We will have,
And
because
my mind is February.
because you're saying that tonight we're going to establish the process for
Yep.
contacting them.
Yes.
So they will have between now and January?
Yep. And even February.
Okay.
But the big push was to get them in by February, so we have time to discuss, get it to city council in a timely manner. Have comment?
Yes, but we won't know how much monies
No, we
will
won't.
have. So
That was the discussion
yeah,
before.
and I
of
didn't
course.
get a good answer on that because how do we determine how much money to spend? I mean,
Well, we can do it. We could do it, if I may, Chair.
Yes, please.
We can do an order, a priority order. You know, this is number one, this is number two, number three. And when we get to them, when we find out how much we have, we get to that, then the rest of them just fall off because those were low priorities anyway. We just do the top priority based on how much money we get.
And that's what we decided last time, that we would, it's a provisional plan
Right.
until we know, but we can base it on this year's funding and hope that it's somewhere in that ballpark. Okay? So do we need anything more in the work plan? Other than deciding on the date for the retreat? Let's start with the date. Who's got a date?
So, so we're meeting on the 7th. That would be
Yes.
the first Tuesday of the month. So would everybody be open to a Saturday or would they rather, I think a Saturday in the morning would,
Saturday's
So-
fine with me.
okay, so the Saturdays we have in January after we meet are the 11th, the 18th, and then of course the 25th, but that will be the smoke alarm. So we only have really the 11th and the 18th. The smoke out, excuse me, not smoke alarm, smoke out. So I think if everybody's okay with it, that 18th is a holiday weekend, I believe. I think the 20th is Martin Luther King Day. So I'd say let's do it on the 11th.
I like it.
Is that okay?
How about? All right, January 11th, we got nods. We're putting it on calendars. So that's, yeah, step one. We've got January 11th.
Do I need to make a proposal for that, Madam Chair?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's just okay. And this is just a recommendation, so we're beginning the process, so I think that's all we need to do at that point.
And that'll be from 8 to noon?
8 to noon sounds great.
We can put noonish because if we're like really into the retreat, I mean, I really hate to have it cut off.
Sure.
Okay.
Noonish
Noonish.
is written down. And Jessica, that will be, I hope that date works for you.
What Adolfo was asking.
Thank you. Okay. Does anyone want to go further with the development plan? Right now? The reason I ask is our next step is to contact have a process for contacting the liaisons. And that will be a letter to the various liaisons saying now is the time to.
I'm sure you referring to item C.
Right, no, I'm not going there yet. I'm just saying that that's our next step. So I'm not sure if we need to do any more in the planning.
And
for this
that'll,
part.
on the planning, that'll be at Oldemeyer. And will our liaison set that up for us?
We'll have to decide on the place later, depending on availability.
Okay.
But I'm,
Suggest, Madam Chair, that if you are contemplating the Oldmeyer Center, then we start the process and it's already in now.
we have to start it early. Yeah. Would everyone prefer the Oldemeyer Center? If it's available? Good. Okay, I will start that. Okay. All right, is there public comment on 6B? So public comment is closed and we'll move on to 6C, which is establish a process for contacting commission liaisons. And this is where I ran into problems last year. It was suggested to just go to all the meetings, but I'm going to ask our liaison, my idea is to ask our liaison to contact the other liaisons. So my idea was to work up a letter with you, send it out, and that will be soon, this week, after this meeting. Does anyone have anything to add to how to contact?
And I think that's the most efficient way to go about it. You know, have the liaisons bring it to the separate commissions with a letter written. That I think that's a fantastic way to go.
Yes.
On item 6.
Yes.
Have you back to item 6B and take a vote on that.
Do we need to vote because it was the recommendation?
We have to vote on the date.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
You selected a date, a time.
Got it.
Okay, I'll make that motion if that's okay.
Second.
Pardon me? Oh, I.
Oh, I thought you said. I'll make that-
He's in there.
Okay. I motion that our Nick retreat be held on 11 January 2025 from 8 to noonish at the Oldemeyer Center.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. All right, on to C. So anything to add to how to contact the other commissions? So I or anyone who would prefer can mock up a letter. We'll get it to Jessica and see Jennifer, and we'll pass that on to the other liaisons. I can help you with who they are. And anyone have anything to add for that?
Just that I think it would be nice for a couple of us, as long as we don't establish quorum, to get together, just to, kind of flush it out between.
That'd be great.
The letter, you mean?
Mhm.
Right.
So, yeah, because I was just gonna ask if I may, what are we, when we're talking about the letter, we're gonna say, we're basically just gonna say that we want you to come to our meetings and submit your proposals or,
That's it.
yeah,
Project
your
ideas.
project ideas. And these are your dates. These are the dates that you have availability.
Maybe we could just address it to the chairs, have the chairs invited, not the full commission. If the chair can't be there, then she or he can choose someone else.
So could a couple of you get together with me for a cup of coffee and we will write it up?
I'll do that.
Great.
I'll probably be working.
Probably working. Anybody else on that? Okay. I'll send out. We could have 3.
If I may,
Yes.
if I may suggest, since you will be taking a vote on this item, if I may suggest that you vote now on the period of time that you're gonna allow them to respond. So for example,
Good idea.
your period begins January, or I'm sorry, November, a November date, and
Yeah,
are
November
you allowing them 30 days, 60 days to submit, and by what time? Right? And then will this letter be sent to all of the commission liaisons, and then they will forward it to the chairs? So if that's the wish of the
That's
commission, then please,
Yeah, from one
take
to the
that.
other.
Exactly.
So that will add.
Mhm.
So when we get to a motion, it will be outline the time period, outline the way we want them to propose, first by email and then in person, like we did the last time. That was really helpful. So we can have times for that. And-
Correct. So last time they posed in writing.
Yep.
And then you selected those that you wished to have them present to you.
Email to, so that worked well to have them submit them, and then we selected ones to go forward, which was all of them, but. And then we'll establish a timeline and we will get together to make sure our letter has all of that included. So we can vote on that, on those criteria.
Okay.
Okay,
Can we go over that? I just want to make
Yes.
sure I have that.
and I can do it as a motion. Can I make a motion? So a non-quorum, three of us will get together to produce a letter that includes the period of times that the other commissions can submit proposals for project ideas. They will first do it by email. We'll have a time limit for the email. That's the only one we need because we will be selecting from the email. And it will start in whichever November date we decide on by the time we get it finished, and then probably go for 60 days. So we'll decide together on unless we can do it now, on an end date.
Should
What
we
would
should we make the end date the 10th before we have our retreat?
No, because we'd want it for the January meeting.
Oh,
I think we want it to at least start with the. January
Provide yourself with enough time to be able to review them before your
meeting. Yep.
your meeting.
We're looking at Christmas is our deadline, maybe a few days before.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. We'll decide together on, or we can decide now. A good date could be,
When are you going to have it out? When will you have the email out, you think?
this week.
Okay.
Okay, so it could be January 30th. January 30th is a Tuesday, then we have a week to look at the emails.
I think that
Mm.
works.
November 30th, correct?
I mean, no, I was thinking December, because we aren't, that gives them 2 months.
No.
Just as a reminder that, you know, it's the holiday season.
I
so-
know. But that would be the deadline. They would have 2 months, and that would simply be the last day.
Well, people are gonna be like checked out.
But they
also-
have 2 months. It just gives them a little more time in case November got busy and.
But also, like, we're gonna vote if we're gonna meet in December. I bet you some other commissions are gonna do the same thing.
Right, so
So
they,
I mean, maybe make it till the end of February. I mean.
but we're talking about going over them in January.
Yeah, but
So,
we didn't, that wasn't really set in stone. We were talking about maybe February as well.
I don't know, you guys, we had such a problem with being too late this year. And we decided to be early with it.
I
So,
remember,
but-
but we also talked about the December conundrum about maybe meeting and not meeting, and now the other commissions. And we were talking about maybe February was more realistic too.
Well, what I have in my notes says hold retreat in January to establish criteria, then send that out to all liaisons. Establish criteria and plan. And I have January 20th through February. And then March, schedule presentations and determine priority list of projects. April 2025, Nick will present upcoming year's plan for the budget process.
We did, and then at another point, felt like it was too late. So I've gone back and forth, but that's fine if we want to push things back.
Because I don't, excuse me, through the
Go
chair.
ahead.
I don't want to set other commissions up for failure and they've already decided, or maybe it's already in their unwritten bylaws that they don't ever meet in December. And they're gonna have to scramble back and people are gonna have to rearrange their schedule to make this meeting to get their projects or their, their proposals.
Madam Chair, may I make
Yeah.
a suggestion? So I would suggest if you wanted the opportunity to extend the due date, that you maybe set the the due date as January 6th of 2025, because you have an NIC meeting on the 25th. So if you have not received proposals, or if you feel that there's still some out there outstanding that they have not been able to complete, you may be able to vote on extending that deadline date maybe to the end of the month at the January 7th, so you can gauge how many proposals you've received. That's an option.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so let me make sure I understood that, if I might. It was give them the deadline of 6 January. And then when we meet on the 7th, we can decide if we need to extend that.
That would be the suggestion. That works. That sort of solves the differences there.
So then that means that we have to submit this letter pretty darn quick
This week.
this week. Okay.
And then it's
Just
then
an
it's
email, right?
just an email. Yeah.
Mhm.
We can meet for coffee tomorrow. If you guys can, and we'll just make sure we have it written. Okay. Can figure it out.
Just, you can call me if someone can't make the early
Yeah.
date.
Yeah. Dan, did you, I know it should be public comment.
you already had public comment on this item.
No, not on this one. Not on the process for contacting liaisons. But so we'll wait and we'll vote after that then. Okay. Okay. So before, I think we have it down. So making our deadline January 6th. We will this week get out a letter to the liaisons, and that's all we decided on. Okay. And now we'll open for public comment on this one.
Hi, everyone. Linda Cunningham, a Seaside Homeless Commission. Speaking as a Seaside Homeless Commissioner, since it's about the commissions. Our regularly scheduled meetings in November falls on Thanksgiving, and our regularly scheduled meeting in December falls on Christmas. Just saying, we're gonna have to schedule special meetings because we're not meeting on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I know you guys meet earlier in the month, we meet later in the month. There would be a challenge. I'm hoping that this letter contains information to help form what projects you're looking for. What are the boundaries? What are you looking for? Will we do like an actual, did you want people to come and do a presentation? What do you want to see in this email? The cost, the monthly cost, the one-time cost, the ongoing maintenance cost? To just kind of say, well, we want something is very vague. And from a person receiving that, I mean, our team's going to receive that. And we would want to make sure we're meeting what you guys are looking for. But if it's vague, we won't know what you're looking for. And we might miss the mark, and maybe whatever we could come up with isn't really what you're looking for, but we really need good boundaries of what you're looking for. But you want it to be open because people can have an out of the box idea of something nobody thought of, like, a sky bridge out there off of General Jim Moore, because it's such a beautiful view. And the sky walk up at Eureka Zoo is absolutely fabulous. You kind of start off on the land, and next thing you know, you're 200 feet above the forest floor because it drops down the way it drops down out there. I mean, that's out of the box. I think it'd be fabulous, but I just would like to make sure that there's really a clear dates on what the range is of when people can submit a project, what you're looking for. Do you want 200 pages or 2 pages? Do you want a summary page? Do you want diagrams? Just try to help us help you. Wasn't that the line from Jerry Maguire? Anyhow, please help us with giving us really good guidelines, because we don't want to waste your time. And we want to make sure that the time we put into it that we're providing you with the information that you want. And I just, thank you for opening this up, and I, appreciate all the work you guys do and what you do for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, members of the NIC, I am Dan Mewis, Recreation Director. Couple of things I just want to make sure the commission is aware, and I want to commend all of you for all the work you're putting into this and your dedication to trying to speed up this process. However, I want you to know that work plans aren't necessarily due until April 1st. So you do have that deadline on when the work plan needs to be submitted to the city clerk. So technically you have a little bit more of a leeway there in order to get this done. And then your projects, we're looking at the 25-26 budget that we're looking at. So in theory, what's going to happen is your work plan, once it's submitted to the city clerk, it is then going to be presented as part of the 25-26 operating budget. So I think as long as you have your items that you want to recommend for the city council prior around that time, you should be good to go. So I don't want you all to feel that you need to necessarily have to make this decision right away and 2 months during the holidays, which can be a bit challenging. There is a little bit of leeway there. So I just want the commission to be aware of that. And also want to make sure too, like you're talking about the liaisons, but there were a couple other nonprofits too that we want to make sure that also have the ability to weigh in on it. Sustainable Seaside, FOSPA, and even Pachetti Dog Park, because those are groups that also do make recommendations. So I don't want them to be left out as well. And then I still have a little bit of time, brief update. With the work plan that was submitted this last time, it was submitted for city council for consideration. I am working on the actual numbers on what it costs on a lot of those projects that you did have working on. So we'll be working on bringing that on the 21st of November for city council to look at what is actually feasible with the amounts that was given for each of those specifics. So just want to give the commission an update on that, but just make sure you're all aware on the deadlines and the time frame. You do have a little bit of wiggle room there. And I can answer any questions if you.
The three were Pachetti, FOSPA, and Sustainable. Are there
Seaside.
any others?
Those are the three that I know of that have come and submitted requests in the past. I'm sure there are, but those I think are the three players when it comes to this commission.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
We are just a little shy about being too late.
And that's totally understandable, right? So I think as long as I think if you can present it with the budget, that will really come a long way with the city council, and then they can make their decisions. Because if you already have a plan in place and there's money that they're thinking about, like how they want to, like, hey, you know what, maybe we need an extra 30,000 for this, then the city council can allocate it at that time. So and it's really coming to the forefront to them during that process.
Thank you. Any questions for Dan?
Not for Mr. Mewis, but I just want to mention, I taking consideration what he said, I know that we're a little, feel a bit rushed on time, but looking at through other commissions' point of view, I would like to have a little bit of time to put together a project to submit. I don't know if we want to go all the way to April 1st, but maybe before that, but sometime in January just seems to be pushing a little too much for me.
Then how about it before we can still change that. How about before the February meeting? So that but once again, we have submit them by January. We can add to the letter that if you're not ready yet, we can extend the time, but the more the earlier we get them, the better we are
But
we
if
can
we're
make it looser.
right, but if we,
For the deadline.
right, I was the one to suggest if we do that, say we can extend the time, but we give a hard date for the extension.
For
at
the
least.
extension, yeah. We prefer having them in before the January meeting, but a hard end of February, maybe. Yes.
Were you talking about the NIC has a project at the time?
No, the submissions from other.
I'm thinking NIC should have a project of its own myself.
We talked about that.
I have an idea.
And we talked about adding our own to that process. for
Yeah,
sure.
because I believe I shared with you that some of the city council's not really pleased with the way we've been going with our recommendations. So, we really need to step it up. So
That's what
yeah,
we're trying to do, I thought. Okay, so, yeah.
I was wondering, what do you,
yeah,
what
the
exactly does
NIC
that
is
mean?
not doing what the NIC. I guess we need to clarify what the NIC means, I guess. Is it a brick, are we about murals or are we about brick and mortar
We're
kind of
about
thing?
neighborhood improvement,
Yeah,
whatever shape,
and
form
we
and
have-
fashion it takes.
We have 5 criterion.
Exactly,
That
but one of our biggest cheerleaders isn't very pleased with the direction we're going.
Well aware.
So I think we should have a project of our own to say, we're back.
I'm looking for my criterion.
So
Okay.
can I add a comment?
Yeah, please.
Madam Chair, so with regard to what Dennis said on dates, so, you know, our end date is, we want to have everything, our plan completed by 1 April, or by our April meeting, April 1st. So that means that our drop dead date has to be March, because we have to vote amongst ourselves in March of what plans we're going forward. So we can't be getting anything, you know, if we're gonna, we have to have a chance to have those people present. So are we gonna have them present at March and make a decision then? That'll be a very long meeting. You know, so I mean, that's why we're up against the gun here. That's why we're saying, you know, we want you to have the first date is the 6th of January. And then we can give you until maybe the end of January or the beginning before we meet. Because when we meet, that's when we have to tell them to come to that meeting and present.
We have special meeting in March.
You might need
In
to-
response,
I mean,
I
we can
think
do
sometime,
that.
if I may,
Yes,
Chair,
please.
I think just, you mentioned February. I think that's good, but no later than mid to end February, just so we can look at them and talk about it in March. Just because, as the commissioner said, there's some commissions don't meet in December. We just need to give them some time also to develop something, so that then give us the time to look at it. But I would think that February would be enough time that,
And then we might, okay, so here's what I have. And then we'll see if we can zero in on it. We'll request proposals in this week. We'll send out a request for proposals this week with specific, our mission statement, which has the 5 criterion for NIC. So it'll be quite clear on the umbrella of those projects, as clear as we can make it. Then we'll decide when we get together on the specifics of what we want to ask. And then, so that'll be an email sent out to the liaisons, asking them to send it to the commissioners, to the chairs. Then 6th January is our requested date, with an extension to the end of February 28th, just to be sure that people have enough time, but that we would prefer the earlier the better, so we can look at them.
What, February?
End of February 28th. We will also let the commissions know that we will ask them to present to us at the February meeting or even the March meeting, maybe a special meeting, the ones that we want to go forward. Because the email is to check on the proposals, decide what we like. Our proposal, will be included if we have several proposals from us. Does that sound all right? 6th January, end of February is a hard deadline. Then we will contact the commissions and have them present the ones we like. Have I got it?
Yes.
And that will be presenting at our March meeting.
Yep. And possibly, if we have to, a special meeting in March. And because we have to get the work plan together, the rest of the work plan as well by April.
Which is what we're gonna do at the retreat.
Mhm. All righty, there's my, there's my motion.
I'll second that with a slight addition, if I may.
Yes,
There's just that in the letter, we do put a day in the February, rather than just the end of February, but the
Yeah,
dates.
a hard
February
date.
28th. Or whatever we decide on, we'll look at the calendar for that.
It would be,
Thank you. If you're looking right now. I think so. I think
Yeah.
that works.
that's the last day of February.
Okay. That was the second on favor.
Aye.
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 Thank you. And
That was very hard.
it was, I felt.
Repeat your motion, Joan.
And next was D, 6D, and I think I already took care of that. I did not schedule anything about the business of the month. So I just repeated our little map from last year, and it looks, it's fine with me. I hope it's okay with everyone.
Good with me.
And we're sharing, but which means if I'm still chair, you do it. No. And no, whatever works, because well, we shared last time because you were busy. And this year I left it the same because you might be on the city council. So sorry.
So
I'm
can-
sorry,
Can I make a comment
Yes.
about,
please.
I went to building department and I asked a gentleman right before this meeting about the most common code violations.
Right?
Okay. There's no longer a permit required for fencing in Seaside. That's been eliminated.
Are you
And-
kidding?
Anything that's 6 feet, they're not ticketing. They're not telling you to cut that fence down. They're not, because there's fences there that have been there for 10 years.
Oh, interesting. Thank
So
you.
I don't think we should eliminate houses for house of the month because of that violation. Second one,
That's,
If
thank you.
they're 6 feet, it's allowed, 6 feet and below, you
uh,
said?
well, there's a bunch of criterias, like at the corner, it has to be 4 feet. And then it can go up like that, but or like at the driveway, it can only be 4 feet and things like that. But what I'm saying is, rather than us eliminating a house because it has that old fence in front of it, that's 6 feet, that was built 10 years ago. I don't think that's fair to the person that's decorating their or fixing up their house.
Thank you.
The second one is courtesy violations.
Ramona
Oh, sorry.
wants to come in on that.
The chain link, those are illegal, I believe.
Well, I mean, I'm saying.
Yeah.
With the exception of.
Accepting.
Yeah, those are grandfathered in too.
Some of them.
No,
And that, so that means we probably wouldn't choose that one for,
And we don't know when they were,
Yeah.
when they put that up.
what he said was there's no more permits for fencing in Seaside. So you can't really hold this house with the 6-foot fence, okay, to a policy that's not being enforced anymore.
Should have known that when I built my fence.
Yeah, me too.
No
But
kidding.
that's just what I was told.
okay.
But we really can't see the yard with that fence in the way.
So we wouldn't choose that
So
house.
you can drive by it, but just don't eliminate if you and say, oh, I'm not going to look at that house because it has a 6-foot fence or a 4-foot fence or a chain link fence.
Okay,
Because, I mean, I have a neighbor that has a chain link fence up for the past 30 years. You know,
I have a fence up too. It's only 4 foot though.
yeah,
okay.
so.
So what was your second one?
Second one is they're doing courtesy violations for the trash cans. They don't write them up, they
Right.
don't do anything, so I don't think we should disallow that house to be looked at for house of the month. Huh?
Like in the side yard, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to.
It's,
cover it.
it's
Yeah.
not enforced. It's,
But it's not enforced.
no,
Okay?
and you're right. That
Another
shouldn't
one
become
is the flashing
for businesses.
open sign.
Mhm.
There's no enforcement on that either. Yeah.
That's for the
They say that's a
businesses.
code violation
We're-
also.
We're jumping into businesses there, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
Oh yeah, I went out.
No, it's both under D. That's fine.
And then, everything else, the last but least is the, mobile home parked in the driveway. That's all on pause in Seaside. So
I'll
we
bet it
can't
is.
disallow that one because
Yeah.
there's no real ruling there. So,
Does it look good there?
huh?
The question is, does it look good there?
You know what? That's
And that's up to us. We're choosing.
yeah, if there's a 20,000,
So-
a $500,000 one sitting in the driveway,
So,
it looks good.
you guys, we,
Objective, exactly.
remember, we're
There's
just, we're just assigning. I love that you brought up the,
The
hang on.
pergola.
Hey, guys, hang on. Just a second, okay? I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to remind you that what we're doing here is just assigning which month we're doing. And I really appreciate that you brought that new information
But I'm
But-
trying to help people
to
to
choose.
do it correctly.
And I appreciate
Rather than
that.
me bringing it up when you bring the pictures and I say, you know, blah, blah,
But,
blah.
and that's great for those. I just don't want to get a long discussion on trash cans at pergolas.
But it's only 6 o'clock, so let me do this last one.
Okay, one more.
Pergola, that is illegal. Okay, it's 15 feet inset, that whole 10 yards thing there, so you can't really build that. Yeah, so you could hold them on that.
Thanks. I didn't mean to cut off. It was just getting too back and forth. Ray, sorry. Okay. So our recommendation is to nominate the house of the month and the business of the quarter. I didn't assign quarters, the business of the quarter. So we all have our marching orders for the house of the month. How do you want to do the business of the quarter? That would be 4 of us this year, and do I have any suggestions? Anyone want to take the first quarter? We could do it that way and decide on the others, or assign.
Madam, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, for January, February, March, first
Yes.
quarter. I can do that, but just remind me, that's citywide. It's not by area, correct?
Citywide.
Citywide, okay. Thank you.
So Dennis will do the first quarter for business. Volunteer for the second quarter. I know some of you had one in mind, Ray. You had one in mind that you wanted to nominate. I can't remember what it was,
I
but
can't either.
I think. but-
Really?
Anyone want to do the second quarter? Excellent. Great. So that's April, May, June. Third quarter. I'll do the third quarter.
We're all like,
And anyone for the fourth quarter?
Ramona.
Thank you, Ramona. There, and then next year, I'll have in my notes that Ray, you and I will be first and second next year,
Sure.
following year, and then we'll see for the rest of the year. Okay, I think we did it. We have more information from Ray. The recommendation is to nominate the House of the Month and Business of the Quarter. Everyone has their assignments for next year, and please remember to just have 4 or 5 houses. I don't know yet if you need to take photos. If you can, that would be great. If not, please let staff know that you want them to do photos, or let me know. Don't let staff know. Let me know and I'll arrange the photos for you.
Are we going to continue to restrict it just to homeowners or when? Does that?
No, we decided that we didn't have to do that. Some renters are working on their home.
We don't know if it's the rent.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know, but
Let's do that then.
yeah, we kind of left that as, we're not going to specify. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but. And it makes it a lot easier for the research. Okay. I move to, public comment. I move that we have public comment. Thank you, Dan. Mr. Mays.
One quick question.
Yes.
I remember a few years ago, it seemed like every month it came to city council. And there was a proclamation, and I feel like it has been a long time since I've seen that come to city council. So I don't know if the commission's planning on bringing that back, because I think that that is a good way to recognize those homeowners and businesses for the work that they do in the public setting. So I want to put that back out there.
All right. And guess we do have to vote on that. Nominate, we are close public comment. I'm very tired.
So
will you make a
I'll make a motion if you
Please
like.
do.
So I motion that we accept the House of the Month assignments that Jones provided us, and that we accept the Business of the Quarter assignment, which is Dennis first quarter, Shanda second quarter, Tiffany third quarter, Ramona fourth quarter.
I will second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay. Next is E, and we've had a request to have a joint meeting with the Homeless Commission to discuss future collaboration efforts on the annual work plan. So this came from the Homeless Commission's liaison, and I'm not sure about that. Whether that would require another meeting. Do you have some information for me on that? I know I read the email, but I'm not sure how to conduct this here.
Madam Chair, if you recall, as we were going through the annual work plan, the interim city manager suggested that maybe the NIC could meet with other commissions or the Homeless Commission in this particular case. So we did receive a request through their liaison to hold a joint session between the NIC and the Homeless Commission to have that discussion on how both commissions could jointly collaborate on a project, basically, or on future projects. So the subject of discussion tonight is, does the NIC wish to hold a joint meeting with the Homeless Commission? So you would take a vote on that and then determine a date.
If we have a joint meeting, can it be at our regularly scheduled time?
Yes, you would.
For example, well, I just don't know how a joint meeting works. But for example, we could decide to have that December meeting and invite the Homeless Commission to join that meeting. That
Correct.
could be a way to do it.
And I believe we heard from public comment that the Homeless Commission does not meet in December.
Right.
So they would need to hold a special meeting to vote on joining you at a future meeting.
But we have enough time for that
Correct.
Okay. And there are other options. It could be later, but it seems like with our timeline established now, that would be something that we should do sooner rather than later. Okay, discussion? Ideas from?
Yes, to the chair. No, I'd love to. I'm not sure if it says future collaboration of annual work plan, just annual work. No, I think this is a fantastic idea. I've always been a proponent of our commissions not being silos, but working together where we can. You know, we all live in the same city, and some of the I don't want to call them problems, but some of the issues that we face do not fall under just one commission's responsibilities, but others as well. So I think it's a great idea. I'd love to. I don't know if we have to decide on a date tonight, but it doesn't look like it. But I just think it's a great idea. So
Thank you. Other discussion? Yes. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramona, and Joan. So do we have to, my question is, does it have to be the whole, commission? Can it just be a couple that meet and discuss and then bring the idea back to us as a proposal?
The request was for a joint meeting between both commissions.
I would not be in favor of that. I just think that it could be, I think that the proposals need to come to us. Instead of us sitting here working on that and taking a special meeting or taking time for our meeting to just come up with those proposals is a lot of work. And I think that maybe it should just be a couple, not a quorum, but a couple members. Yeah, like a subcommittee, a couple members from our committee, a couple members from their committee, meeting, coming up with the idea, and then bringing the proposal to the whole group. And they can come to that meeting. But then it would be proposed with all the other proposals. I just don't think it'd be fair. We can't just meet with one group and not the others. We don't have time to do that. We don't have time to meet with all the commissions. I think if we want to do this one subcommittee, then, and we have time to do that, then we do that and then submit the proposals and track like we talked about already. That's what I think.
Other discussion, Ramona?
I think a special meeting would be better and to have a roundtable. I mean, I don't think it could be done in here. I think we'd have to meet at Oldemeyer, so we could have a roundtable of all the commissioners and sit down and find out why they're requesting it, first of all. They must have some needs or trying to find out more about us or what we're about. I'm not sure why they want it, but I do think it should consist of all of us and it should be a special meeting in November, because I think it was stated that you don't have a meeting in November.
This year,
I didn't ask a question, I just made a statement.
standard
Yeah.
meeting falls on Thanksgiving and our regular meeting falls on Christmas.
Yeah,
That's
so,
just
okay.
This year, it's not every year.
Okay,
But we have to have a special meeting in November and possibly, it sounds like 2 special meetings in December. If not 3, if we have another special meeting to do that.
okay.
Just to let you know, I mean, normally we would meet at the end of the month, but if we can't meet 2 months, we have to have a special meeting.
Okay,
Okay, so you can't meet on Thanksgiving, so therefore you'd have a special meeting. We could probably meet you at that special meeting, hopefully. If maybe not all of us can be there, that's fine.
that's another way to do it. It's a
But I think
reverse.
there's two and two. It's just gonna come back to us and we're gonna have a long discussion. It's gonna go into the hours. What did you say? How come they want that? I could just hear all of us talking about it all over again when we could just hear it out all at one time.
Only
Okay.
one of us could meet this year. We only have 3 people, so 2 people would be able to go on.
Got it.
So only one of our.
Well, that's what I mean. Would it be, that's what I don't understand about the meeting. How are we gonna do this? Cause I'm nervous about the quorum thing.
So let me just,
Can it be a roundtable discussion?
let's just go back to what we're asking. Joint meeting request. We can just decide tonight that it's a good idea and we'll push that forward. November and December are pretty difficult to meet. We could just say, in principle, we want to have a meeting, or we can set a date and we set the parameters on how to meet it. So just to focus, we have 2 possibilities here. And we have more discussion.
I think that's a great idea, Joan. But I was wondering, could we maybe invite them to the retreat and give them an hour at the retreat to discuss a proposal
Is that?
at our retreat? Can we do that, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
The NIC retreat is a special meeting. So yes, you can suggest that they hold a special meeting on that date and have that conversation.
That gives them time. That gives them time to plan. That gives them time to meet and discuss. And then we could give them, from noon to 1 or something, to meet, to collaborate.
All right.
I like that idea. Any other comments?
Madam Chair, I just for clarification, I don't read this as being that. I read it just as in the spirit of future, throughout the years to come, working on projects together, not necessarily a proposal for this particular year's work plan. I may be wrong, but that's how I read this. And I just want to make sure we're voting on what has been proposed.
The email was asking for a specific meeting. So it wasn't, not a specific time.
They are requesting a meeting basically to discuss future collaboration efforts on the annual work plan. So future work plans.
Collaboration.
So I'm proposing that Tiffany's idea is a great one. That we add an hour to the retreat as a special meeting and invite them for that hour
Okay.
possibly. I think that's a doable, good idea.
Right. And
What do you think?
I'll second that motion, and then if I may back that up. I like that better than having a subcommittee, because if we have a subcommittee, then we can't vote. So this, if we want to vote on something on this going forward, it would be better to have the whole commission and even a quorum with the homeless commission.
Okay, so let's have some, that was a good point, We might have it. Let's have some, public comment on that.
So you will have, in essence, you will have two meetings.
Two meetings.
Happening,
So do we have to list it as two special meetings?
two special meetings. So you will have an 8 to 12, which is an NIC at noon, and then 12 to 1, which is a joint meeting with the homeless commission, and the homeless commission will have to post that as well
Perfect.
from 12 to 1.
All right. And we, good. So we need some public comment because Dan has got something. Thank you.
So with the joint meeting, you would need to post it as a joint meeting, that you're doing it with the NIC and with the homeless commission. And then if there's any topics that would need to be voted on, you would vote individually. So it would be the NIC voting individually, and then it would be the homeless commission individually. So it's understand that the reason why is they want their entire commission to come in and weigh on topics and things like that. So for an example, with Parks and Rec, we had a joint meeting with Art and History and the Environmental Commission. Regardless, we invited the entire commission, but only one member from each of those commissions attended. So they still had to vote individually as behalf on their commission because it was billed as a joint commission. So just a couple of things that you come to think of on the way you want to do it. What Mr. Gonzalez said about having two separate meetings, that's another way to go about it, where you would identify you're going to have the NIC retreat special meeting, but then you would have to close that meeting and then open up the new meeting as a joint meeting. So just a couple ways to work around that.
Thank you for giving the two options. Yeah. Well, it's just two different options. And I think that second option works for us, defining the times and making it easier for us to vote. Thank you. Leslie.
So much power. Hi, Linda Cunningham.
Yes. Oh, I did.
I'm sorry. I
already.
thought you already did.
No, I did already. I did it right.
He was testing you.
He was.
Or you were testing him. He failed. Nothing personal. Linda, I'm with the Seaside Homeless Commission. I don't know if I can answer your questions, but we're just wanting to reach out to your team, and we feel our work is improving Seaside. We're trying to improve Seaside, and we're have a very restricted budget. And we understand, you guys are going to have this work plan, you're going to get these proposals, we will make a proposal. We're trying to understand where we might have overlap in things to do. Maybe there's something you would like information from us about. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I've never done a joint commission meeting with anybody, but I do not believe we were going to ask to work and pick a proposal and design a proposal. I think part of it was getting to know other commissioners. We felt we were closest to your commission versus the art commission or maybe the Parks Commission. And we just wanted to see if there was any part of our goals that overlap where we could kind of find a way to work together in this getting out of the silos of all these commissions just off on their own with none of it weaving together. And maybe it's just a matter of just getting to know each other. I don't believe it was a project with a proposal that would be something to be voted on. I think it was more about just finding out about what you guys are doing and us trying to just find out if we fit anywhere in what you're doing, because you do have this opportunity that we don't have to fund, to open these proposals and have people bring them to you. And we want to participate in that in a way that supports what you're doing, but also supports what we're doing. And we're just not really clear if there is even overlap, and there may not be, but we don't know how to talk to you guys other than in a joint meeting. And we can't be anywhere with you guys, anywhere unless we're one person. So then that's challenging. So we just so you know, we're not going to ask you to make a proposal and do a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you.
That sounds good. Thank you very much. Mona?
Chair, where will we meet? If it's 3 of them and 5 of us, 6 of us?
Well, we already are meeting at Oldemeyer Center.
Oh,
if
that's right.
it's
Sorry.
available.
Sorry.
Yep. And that's my job to
Okay.
get that.
Yeah, online.
Online, good. Thank you.
Diane Nielsen, would you like to comment?
Yes, thank you. Hello, Commission, Diane Nielsen here, listening to this back and forth about whether to have a joint meeting. And it is nice to get to know what each commission is doing. And one of the very important ways to do that is to go to other commission meetings that you're interested in, or listen to them online, and also read their goals and responsibilities. That's really a good starting point for another commission to learn. And being in a joint meeting, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions that might not be answerable. And I believe that the city liaison would be a good person for another commission. Another commission would talk to about what the responsibilities are. They can go online and see what your responsibilities are that are spelled out. And then tonight, maybe I missed it, but was there somebody there to, the fine lady who just spoke, whose name I can't remember right at the moment, Linda, I think.
Leslie.
No,
Oh.
Yes, it is
Linda, sorry.
Linda. In the beginning, when this first came up, there should have been some kind of, I would think somebody would have done sort of a presentation and then, to say what they were looking for. It sounds like they just want to get to know why maybe they're not getting things approved. And I can understand that, but still, there's lots of other ways to find out what the commissions are doing. And I know you'll probably have a joint meeting, but to put another hour onto a meeting that's going to be full of information and questions and ideas is a little taxing, in my opinion. So those are the things I wanted to, my timer's going off of my oven. Those are the things I wanted to just bring up as how they can find out about your commission or any other commission. And we can go to you can go to the homeless commissions. Somebody could go from there and they could say, hey, that would be something we'd like to help you with. So anyhow, that's my Nicholsworth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Is there any more public comment? Public comment is closed. And so it looks like we have a recommendation here. So propose that, or I move that, let me make sure I have it all, that we add an hour, have a joint meeting at a retreat at the Oldemeyer Center, if it's possible, at the Oldemeyer Center from 12 to 1. So we'll have 2 separate meetings, our NIC retreat, and then a collaborative meeting in the hour following.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that carries, motion carries. Good. And now we have F to decide if we have a December meeting or not. Normally, we don't have a meeting in December, so we added this on. But it's been scheduled, so we did need to vote it off if we don't want to have that meeting.
Well, usually in the past, we've had the holiday contest in lieu of our meeting for
Right.
December. So I would say we don't need a meeting, but we certainly need to talk about our holiday.
Good. And that's the next. So any other discussion on the December meeting? So I move to eliminate the December meeting.
So-
Oh, sorry, public comment. Oh, you're good. Can I hire you?
If I may,
Yeah,
maybe the commission should table this to after you talk about the holiday lights, and then you can decide on whether or not the December meeting is needed after you discuss that.
you're probably right, because I don't know what to do about the holiday lights. I'm relying
I
on,
have a public comment on that one too when you get to it.
okay. So I'm going to table that one, reverse the order. Do I need a, no, we'll need a vote on that. So any other public comment on the December meeting? Move that one. So, yeah, so
I nominate that we switch the order and discuss the Christmas lights next, and then after that, discuss whether or not we have a meeting.
it's a,
It's a motion.
Motion.
Sorry, motion.
we had a rough night. Yes, we did have a rough night. I second that. All in favor? I'm
Aye.
just reversing.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we're going to go on to discuss, this will be G. And I'm going to need some help from you. This is the December lights contest, which I haven't been involved in the past. So I'm not sure how to go about this. So I need to know what our involvement is in that and what happened last year that didn't work. And that was, so what is supposed to happen? I need this from somebody else on the commission. Dan can help us out with that to start. Thank you. Dan's got the skinny on last year's stuff for sure, so.
So I believe it's been 2 years the commission has partnered with Parks and Rec Commission. And so it's kind of come back last minute. Okay, so 2 years ago we did, and we went around and we did it. And we had some issues with the criteria. And I think then what happened last year was we did it last year. We had the Parks and Rec Commission took it over, but we did, I believe, Shonda, you came on the bus with us when Dennis came. Okay, so we did go on a tour, but actually Parks and Rec took over all of it. So we funded the prizes and everything. So I can bring it to the Parks and Rec Commission this next time when we have our meeting in November and see if they want to collaborate again, because I think it is a good way to collaborate and do it. And we did it last minute where we just put out a Google form up to the community to just submit their house. So we had the Google form, they had their address, and it was really basic. And it was 2 hours maybe. I think we had like 12 houses that we went and looked at. So if we want to figure out, I think what we would need to do is just figure out what that process would be. I think the Google form worked, but I don't necessarily, it didn't reach the masses, right? So, some of the houses were and some of the other ones were really good. So we just need to figure out what is the best way to do it. Cause I think this is a good program to have. We want the community to be in the holiday spirit, and we want to be able to showcase and highlight those ones that do. I think the winner that won was just right up here on the corner, and it was actually really cool because his whole house was all electric, and he had it connected to his car, and it was on it was pretty awesome. But I think we need to just really hone that in. So I just wanted to give that update on how we did it working with the Parks and Rec Commission last time.
Question.
Yeah.
If I may, please.
Okay, so does the Parks and Rec set the criteria and are we part of the judging?
So we didn't necessarily have a criteria last year. It was more of like, we went out, these are the houses, and then we had a score sheet, and they just voted. And then at the end, we're like, okay, these are the ones that got the highest votes, and we picked the top 5 or 3 maybe. And they each got a gift card to their favorite restaurant here in Seaside.
And how did you get the nominations? Because you put out the Google thing?
We created a Google form. We posted it out on social media, and that was really it. Those who submitted, they just put their address in there. So then we had their addresses. We created a route. We had the rec bus driver drive us around, and we stopped in front of the house for about 5 minutes, and then everyone scored them, and we tallied them up at the end.
When we did it 2 years ago, we did it, I think we had the forms here at City Hall. I think we had some forms. Did we do it online or something?
I think we tried, but,
Yeah.
and I don't know, and maybe Commissioner Alexander, you have been on the commission a while, so I don't know how it was done prior.
But I remember they did fill out some forms. We did it, and then we drove around. We drove around with some really nice cocoa. Adult cocoa. I think you did the driving.
I didn't know about any of that was going on, so please.
Somebody drove. And we looked at we had the list of the addresses, and we drove around and we looked at we had a great number of houses, and we drove around and we looked at the houses. We had a lot. I mean, and we had a great number of houses that we looked at, and we scored them. And then I can't remember how we got to the winner, but it was quite a few. It was more than I think the 12 from last year. But last year I don't even want to talk about last year.
I think it came so fast. We did it within a week and a half. I'm like, hey, let's do it and get it going.
We didn't do it, so you guys took it over.
Yeah.
But then we still worked with the commission to help, because it was, originally your thing.
I guess what we need
more communication and
Yeah.
more.
So Dennis was next and then
Yeah.
Ramona. So
Well, basically in the last couple of years, it's really back. Well, I'm talking way back in the day and 20 years, because I was on this commission before I was on the council, and I'm back. But way back then, there was more criteria, which I don't recall what it was, but it was more along the lines of what we have for House of the Month. Now it's kind of like which house can look most like Times Square on December 31st. It's like it's pizzazz, which is fine with me because it did. It is really catching. So. Yeah, but as far as criteria, that was pretty much that, recently that's pretty much been it, has been just which house is, wow, it gives us the biggest Iowa.
And I think last year we scored it. It was like you had 1 to 5, right? 1 was awesome, or 1 was 5 was wow, and that was really how we did it.
Ramona?
Yeah, I just remember it being creative, most beautiful, most spectacular, like that. But I like Mr. Muse's just 1 through 5. Then we came back and we voted 1 through 10. This guy got 6, this guy got 5. It was a long process. So I like the way Park and Rec did it last year. So does Park and Rec want to do this with us?
I can put it on our agenda for November and I'm sure they will. Like, they like doing it. And if we,
Bus big enough for all, both commissions.
we have a 20 passenger bus, so we can definitely, make that happen. I think we used a van last time. Yeah. As long as I can get the bus driver, but, generally with a few weeks notice.
Still lived it at one time. You know,
So Tiffany has something here, so.
I'm sorry, Joe,
No,
you go ahead.
No, I'm gonna
I,
follow.
I just was wondering, when would we do this? When would we, what are we looking at? What are we thinking about doing it? I know December, but like when? Cause I will be out of town from my daughter's graduating from college and I'm gonna be gone from the 11th through the 17th of December. And I would like to attend.
I think when we did it last time, we did it on our actual like Park and Rec meeting day, which is the third Monday, and the third Monday, I believe, is the 21st.
21st. Beautiful.
Through the chair.
Yes.
We always try to make it within a week of Christmas, just so everybody had all their decorations up by that time. Some people would wait longer, but we always try to make it in the latter half of the month. Not like December 24th, but like 18th, 19th, something like that.
So you said
The third Monday is the 17th.
Okay, then that would be when our meeting.
no, 16th.
Oh, the 16th. Thank you. I was looking at the 17th, the Tuesday. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, so it sounds to me like we don't need to have a December meeting to decide this. You're going to have a November meeting.
Yeah, I wanna.
You could just get an email to us. We can get staff to put the form online.
Yeah, I mean, I think I even have I saw the template that we did last year, and we can just repost it, and we can create with a flyer however we want to do it. I think really, and then we can just work together with the commission and just say we want it open from December 1st through the 14th, and then that way it gives us enough time to look at all the addresses. We can create the schedule, or the route, and so on.
And then we'll just communicate about, do we have to have a special meeting if all of these commissioners are getting together?
It would be a special meeting for you if we did it on the Monday, right? And we're just
We would-
all together. Just the main thing is we're just discussing anything that's the only item on the agenda would be the holiday lights tour.
Okay, I think we have what we need for the lights. I love that. I like that'll be a great collaboration. We'll be on time, no last minute.
Yeah, no,
be
and
involved.
I don't see the commission saying anything. I think they enjoyed it last time, and I'm sure Ms. Nielsen, if she's still got her stuff out of the oven, she will comment on it.
Okay. Did you have no? Okay, public comment on. Well, I think we do have public comment from a couple of people. I just want to one more time clarify, we will be involved, Parks and Rec will be involved. We'll have to do a special meeting to go around on the bus to choose, but the rest of it will be mainly paperwork. Okay, so public comment on this item on our additional comment about Christmas lights. Do we have someone? Diane?
Diane Nelson, would you like to speak?
Yes, thank you. Thank you again. Dan forced me to. I think that sounds like a fun thing and I'm all for it. So it was very fun last year and it was a chance to see lights that I probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. So yeah, I'm all for it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you at least by the date we take off in the van.
Excellent, thank you. And sorry, I didn't catch you before I went online.
Okay. Linda Cunningham, Seaside Commissioner, talking as a Seaside resident. I think this is a great idea. I would love to support the list being published somewhere so people in Seaside could go. I'm confident I'm not seeing all these houses and I'd love to be able to, say, hey, here's these ones in Seaside, come check them out. Actually, if you haven't been on Noche Buena, there's a couple of houses that are really lit up there. I think I heard something about a light parade. I don't know if I heard that correctly. They have a beautiful light parade up in Eureka, California, where my sister lives for Christmas. The big trucks, the cop cars, the big tree hauling trucks, the garbage truck. I mean, everybody, a lot of people dress up. You're out on your corner. It's just a lot of fun. I think a light parade through Seaside would be fabulous. I would also, I don't know if you could have like a QR code and people could vote, like the People's Choice Award. Maybe not this year, future years. I saw quite a few very spookily decorated houses. Let's not forget that Halloween is a big decorating season. I think that would be another opportunity to show off all this work that people in Seaside do to decorate their places. I think this is great. As we look for a way to distract people's mind from shooting off illegal fireworks on 4th of July, let's make it a thing for people to decorate their houses for 4th of July and have the 4th of July theme or something. I just don't think you can tell people to stop doing stuff and not give them something else to do. You just can't have a vacuum. It's never going to work. They have to have something else to do. Maybe it could be a thing. Maybe it's impossible to become a thing, but there's just other times of the year that people are doing these big light shows, especially, I'm telling you, there is all those skeletons. Somebody's made a fortune designing those skeletons, I tell you. But I think those are great opportunities and just a way, I just think it'd be great to get, if people want to say, hey, come by my house, I did a lot of work. There's a lot of parts of Seaside, 87 miles. I think that we learned that pavement 101. That's, you can't drive everywhere, but it'd be really neat. And I really am grateful that you're doing this with Parks and Rec. And I think it's wonderful. I'm actually wanting to join the bus, but I don't know if that's gonna be open to the public. I don't know if these are public meetings you have and maybe parts of town are tight, but anyhow, thank you guys very much. I think these are really great ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Okay, public comment is closed. So this is 6G. And I move that we collaborate with Parks and Rec to announce the lights and to join with them on choosing them.
And do we have a specific date? Is it
On
gonna
the
be the
20th,
16th?
that's right. It's on
Is it gonna
the,
be the 16th or are we gonna do it on the 4th Monday?
it's the 16th. Otherwise it's too close to Christmas. But
Okay.
Dan, you want to change that? Can we?
Let me bring it to the commission and see what they want, and then I can connect with Adolfo and Jessica and they can reach out to you on what they decide.
So we'll just move to collaborate with you rather than decide on it, make any decisions. So, do I have a second on that, on the collaboration?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Great. Motion carried. So back to the December meeting. Any more discussion? Because it looks like we've settled that. Is there anything else that's pressing that needs to come up in December? Or shall we?
We need to call a
Discussion.
special meeting and we will, but I don't. Regular.
I don't, okay. And public comment on our December meeting? Does anyone have any pressing opinions on that? Okay, so I move that we eliminate the December meeting.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was easy. Okay, reports from commissioners. No. No.
Actually, I just thought of something. Are we gonna just continue with the same officers?
We do that in January. Last year we
Oh.
did it in January.
Okay.
So if you
I
have
mean, I'm
any
okay with that. I
proposals-
just want to make sure.
No. Sure. I didn't say that out loud. Okay, no, it's in January because we don't have the December meeting.
Okay.
Any other reports from commissioners? And reports from staff? Been through it all. All right, and I move to adjourn this meeting.
I second that. Oh,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
That was a good meeting.
Okay, it's